Good evening, folks. This is Deb. Tonight, we want to talk about why women in America should not consider themselves safe and secure. And they certainly should not get comfortable here. So let's start right at the top. Our current president is an adjudicated sexual abuser. And indeed, at least one judge has stated that what Donald Trump did to E. Jean Carroll met the definition of rape. But it doesn't stop with Donald Trump, because he has selected only the best and the brightest for some of his cabinet positions. We can start with Matt Gaetz, who was already here as a congressman, but Donald Trump chose Matt Gaetz to be the Attorney General of the United States, the highest law enforcement officer in the land. And Matt Gaetz jumped at that opportunity by immediately resigning from Congress, something he actually didn't have to do. But there was a reason he did it. He did it because he thought by resigning, the Ethics Committee report would never be released. But the heat got turned up, and Matt Gaetz took himself out of the running, and that report did come out, and it is one of the most incredibly horrifying reports I've ever read. It determined that Matt Gaetz did break state and federal laws by trafficking a 17-year-old girl for sex. Not only that, he paid more than $10,000 through Venmo to two women who then testified that they watched him have sex with this girl more than one time, and that he also gave her drugs and took drugs himself. It doesn't stop with Matt Gaetz either. We have Pete Hegseth, a Fox News weekend, anchor, I guess, who was accused of rape on a business trip, who then paid off his victim and made her sign an NDA. Yet the GOP found it in their hearts to confirm him as the Secretary of Defense, thereby normalizing this kind of behavior. We have RFK Jr., who Donald Trump has selected for the Health and Human Services Secretary, a man who has victimized women all his life, including his own wives, and a man who was accused by a babysitter of committing rape. We have Elon Musk, the head of Doge, some bogus little operation outside the government that's going to determine how we all survive here, who was accused of exposing himself on an airline and paid off a woman so that she wouldn't say anything. Donald Trump only surrounds himself with the best and the brightest. Let's talk about his friends. He can claim to not know Jeffrey Epstein, but that's a flat-out lie. He knew Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein stayed at Mar-a-Lago, and indeed the first woman that Jeffrey Epstein ever trafficked worked at Mar-a-Lago. Let's talk about Joe Rogan, an internet influencer who fills up young men's heads with misogyny and sexism night after night after night. They listen to him for hours. Let's talk about a man who also had someone named Andrew Tate on his show, a British American man who is currently under arrest in Romania for sex trafficking, a man who brags about breaking a woman's jaw to keep her in line. A man who, has stated that he's going to move back to the United States now that Donald Trump has won, once he extricates himself from his legal problems, because, quote, the men are back in charge. All of this violence against women, all of this sexual abuse against women has been normalized because of Donald Trump. Make no mistake about it. I'm not saying it hasn't been here. What I am saying is that it is now out of the closet and is part of the very fabric of our society. A German investigation uncovered a Telegram chat group with 70,000 members who speak to each other mostly in English and come from a variety of countries, including the United States, who discuss ways to drug and rape women and get away with it. Some of them use videos as examples. This is where we've come to in America. We thought it was bad with Anita Hill. We thought it was bad with Christine Blasey Ford. It is so much worse now. It's scary. You have children that are online? You should be worried for those young girls. Because there has been an incredible increase of misogyny across all of social media since Donald Trump was elected. I've seen it myself. It was bad enough on Twitter. After Elon Musk bought Twitter and returned all of those people that were previously taken off, Twitter turned into a sexual cesspool. Some of those people now are coming on over to Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg went and kissed the ring at Mar-a-Lago, like so many other people before him. Some of the comments I now see on Facebook posts are horrifying. Nick Adams, the self-proclaimed alpha male, has come on over to Facebook from Twitter. Ladies, let me give you some advice. If you are the parents of young girls, keep an eye on what you're seeing. Keep an eye on what they're looking at. And women across America, do not feel comfortable here. Do not feel safe and do not feel secure. This is not that land anymore. It is not that landscape. And the assault on women continues in many other ways. We can't cover it in this video, but we will have videos talking about the continued attack on our reproductive rights, because that is ongoing. As we saw just this week with the, let me read the name of the bill to you. I don't want to get it wrong. The Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. We'll talk about that in a subsequent video and other things that are going on. And as far as women in the workplace, I'd like to remind everybody that the assault on DEI involves women, as well as people of color, the LGBTQ community, and the disabled. We should not forget that. But the best advice I can give women today is to be on your guard here, because we have literally normalized the sexual abuse and rape of women by allowing these people into our government. I will talk to you all later.